That's right. You saw the graphic. This is Pregaming. I'm Serena Morales. That's my friend, the degenerate, Kevin Klein. Cheers to you, and good morning, good afternoon.
Cheers. Winner, winner. Already this week, week 7 NFL action waiting for us in just a few. We'll break it down with our cappers. We got our six-pack. We got the rapid-fire Q&A. But I think already we have a winner for the day, and that is London, because they're not forced to watch the Jaguars or the Falcons this week. So congratulations, London. You're already winning because we didn't send you the worst the NFL has to offer.
You won already. You got a freaking red cup so early. First minute of the show. We're here every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, giving you the best picks, best gambling experts who actually gamble. They give you good betting advice when you're not listening to Kevin Klein. And when they don't get their bets right, you'll get an entertainment payoff for the viewer. Look what happened just last week. Are we going to show this video really quick?
Prime
Ding.
time.
Danny and I might have to get a side wager going. Not cash, but like a side wager. Like one of us has to do something stupid for that game, and we'll have to air it on next week's show.
Jump through a table
Buy
bet.
it,
Destroy your own
Jump through a
table.
table bet.
Yeah.
That's easy.
You want to
like
jump
that.
through a table? The loser.
Yes.
100%.
Jump through a table.
I'm
Let's get it
already
going
on
now.
the- I'm already on the top
Lock
rope,
the
Kenny.
bet.
I'm already on the top rope.
Lock the bet down then. So hold on, let's make it clear. Are we betting spread? We betting current spread? Kenny, you're taking Titans at current spread, which is +6?
Yeah, I think, is it 6.5? Yeah, we'll go spread for sure.
Don't you dare!
Okay.
Don't you dare try to take that hook. There's no hook. It's you take the 6, and I'll take my 6, and you're jumping through a table, brother.
Take the hook. He should have taken the hook.
Shut up.
Man. Today we've got our usual suspects joining. Kenny Bets Big, Danny Brasco, a.k.a. Brasco Bets. He kept his word. He's jumped through a table, and we will show you that video. We've got that. We also have, during our Power Hour, a good friend of our Game Day NFL from Instagram Live. We do every Monday and Thursday. Mad Dodger will also be joining today's show, Kevin.
You know, that bet payoff is just one of the many reasons why this show is different than all of the other pregame gambling expert shows out there. Guys in suits, maybe former NFL players, they talk a lot, they give you locks, they give you predictions. But when they're wrong, they're not throwing their bodies through furniture like we are here. So I'm excited. Finally, we were able to scrap together enough money to buy a table. It was the first bit of furniture we had for the set of our new show, and already we're going to destroy it today. We are using that budget wisely. I know that much. Can't wait.
I can't wait. We got that video, and right now we've got our 2-minute drill. Let's get that timer going. Kevin, I'm gonna let the ladies start it off. So go ahead, go for it.
Thank you. Who said chivalry is dead around here? 2 minutes to break down what we believe are the 2 most important things you should be thinking about as we get into this week. I want to talk for a second about players that have been trashed this season versus ones that have been cash. And by that, I mean there are certain players that if you put the prop money on for anytime scores or first-time scores, they've been paying out pretty regularly. Anytime you can get like a player, usually as a score, and anytime score, it's like a +125, sometimes a +400 bet. You got Derrick Henry's put up 10 touchdowns already this season. That's been pretty much a lock as a plus, go first score. I think you'll get it again potentially. You got Ezekiel Elliott's put up 5 this season already. Jalen Hurts at 5, Kareem Hunt at 5. I mean, these are just some of the players that, as we are entering week 7 of the NFL, are averaging almost a touchdown a game, some more.
Yeah.
And these are just guys to look at when you're looking at, do I like the anytime score prop bet or the first touchdown of the game prop bet? Even like Mike Williams, like putting up 6 touchdowns already this season. You got Hill, Kansas City, put up 7. So the Cooper Kupp, 7 touchdowns already. These are guys you start looking at this point in the season, you go, these are guys I can count on. I know for fantasy that's one thing, but even just looking at players to put a little prop action on, do it. I don't have time to tell you about my trash players this because Serena's got to wrap up our 2-minute drill. We move it. We move it.
Oh, all right. I was like, boom. Well, I don't want to talk about trash either. I want to talk about Tom Brady and how he's leading the league in passing yards. And will this man actually ever retire? Because to me, I don't. Now this week they're getting prepared to face the Bears. Now, obviously, the Bears don't want to be owned by another quarterback, but Tom Brady's working on his footwork this week. Like, this man is leaving the pocket, and it scares a lot of people. But with his hair plugs, the Botox, and just being married to Gisele Bündchen, I feel like this man could live till he's 150 and play till he's Bill Belichick's age, however old that is.
Well, listen, we know That's it. We know the blood spinning is happening in other countries. We're well aware. We're going to learn. Tom Brady, going to learn about the clone that's been playing in the NFL for the last 3 seasons. All stuff that you will say at the time you heard about here first. That wraps up the 2-minute drill, which brings us to 6-pack action, baby. Here we go.
6-pack. I wish I had a 6-pack, but we know someone who does. Callie Bundy joining us now for our 6-pack. And today, thank you for joining us, Callie. Not related to Ted. Thank goodness. We're safe here. Callie, want to get to, you're talking about the strangest NFL teams and logos for our 6-pack today.
Yes, I am. And they're kind of like strange in the sense where we've all said them out loud a lot, right? But then there's kind of that one day where you say it out loud and you're like, wait a second. Why is that even called that? Like, where did that even come from? So these are my 6. Okay. So starting with number 6, we have the New Orleans Saints, which obviously New Orleans is kind of like not a saintly city, right? Like when you think about it, like you wouldn't be like, oh, like it's just a right. So it's like, where did that even come from? So apparently they were founded on November 1st, which is All Saints Day. So I guess that means that they're just really nice people, or they're trying to get us to think that they're nicer, right? But another confusing thing here is that they have 2 mascots. Did you guys know that?
What?
Well, I know the mascot for New Orleans is Dry Vomit.
Dry Vomit may be the unofficial mascot, but they actually have 2 official mascots, which are both dogs, and one is named Gumbo and one is named Sir Saint, which is just kind of confusing to me. Like, just do one mascot well and like move on.
Yeah, they probably have beef. They're like, there's more dog fights in that than in the Cleveland Browns. I don't get it. All right. Well, that makes sense that the Saints are confusing. What
For
do you
all
got
you
in
know,
that game,
Serena, those mascots could be dating, and by the end of the season, we could have 40 mascots. So you don't know.
The Saints are taking on the Seahawks. You good gambling advice. Right now, we're going right into our power hour. Kenny bets big, Danny Brasco, the Kevin Klein, Serena Morales on Pregaming. And last week, we had a wonderful little inside wager. And before we toss to what that, yeah, take a deep breath, Danny. We'll get to you. Before we get to what happens, let's go back last week to explain it all. Show this video.
Danny and I might have to get a side wager going, not cash, but like a side wager. Like one of us has to do something stupid for that game, and we'll have to air it on next week's show.
Jump through a table
Buy
bet.
a
Destroy your own
Jump through a
table.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
You want to
like
jump
that.
through a table? The loser.
Yes.
100%.
Jump through a table.
I'm
Let's get it
already
going
on
now.
I'm already on the top
Lock
rope,
the
Kenny.
bet.
I'm already on the top rope.
Lock the bet down then. So hold on, let's make it clear. Are we betting spread? We betting current spread? Kenny, you're taking Titans at current spread, which is +6?
Yeah, I think, is it 6.5? Yeah, we'll go spread for sure.
Don't you dare!
Okay.
Don't you dare try to take that hook. There's no hook. It's you take the 6, and I'll take my 6, and you jumping through a table, brother.
You know, it was funny because rewatching that video, I was like, "Oh, wear a Josh Allen jersey." And then they were like, "Jump through tables." I'm like, "Yeah, jump through a table. That sounds like a better idea." So, Danny, any final words before we watch you jump through a table, which you thankfully have already done? It's pre-recorded, and you've lived to see the day. Oh, you know what? He's on mute. We probably don't even want him to talk.
You know why? Because he doesn't want to say his words out loud because he'll have to eat him again, like he's doing right now from last week. Smart move. You mute the mic is probably the smartest thing you could do, Danny.
Shout out to the producers for saving me there. Eating my words with Josh Allen and the Bills. Could not cover 3 words for you guys. I was wrong. And I put out a bold bet. And now I got to smash some furniture in the style of Bills Mafia. So hopefully, if nothing else, I can gain the respect of the craziest fan base in the league in my loss.
Kenny, you know what, Danny? Appreciate that. Bold bet. Outside of Kenny bets big, we all believed in Josh Allen. So, Kenny, you are an outlier in this situation. Do you have anything to say before we watch Danny jump through a table?
I mean, I told you so, right? I tried telling you guys. I told Danny he was going to regret taking that bet. So yeah, I told you so. I've been trying to tell you guys all season long. Josh Allen is not the one.
This is the worst words you can hear from someone after you lose a bet. I told you so. Oh, it boils my blood.
Well, listen,
part is-
but Serena, regardless of to be the real loser. Let's focus a little bit part about this, which is that Kenny went against pretty much every single person and their mother when he said Titans are going to win the game. He didn't even say don't worry about spread. He's like, I think they're going to win. They're going to beat the Bills. He was locked in, and I was looking around the league. I didn't see any other expert. I didn't see any other gambling expert. I mean, it was like Bills was like a lock. It was everyone's lock, and Kenny was the only guy that I saw, and I check out lots of shows that was all over Tennessee, and that's the best part about it is that yes, we'll be entertained in a moment. We will all enjoy Danny's pain together, but the hopefully you made some money on this. I mean, that was a real winner from Kenny Bets Big, and listen, Kenny's got another one this week. We'll get to all of our picks for the games coming up. A lot of action happening, and we'll get to all of that. But first, let's enjoy this together, shall we?
Cheers.
Quick stretch. Yeah. Bills. Fuck you, Josh Allen.
Danny, he
Got like
did
a
go with
hunker.
the butt. He went with the big muscle, so that's respectable. I did wear a Bronx sweatshirt for you, considering. Oh, is that ice or is that meat?
I got a hunk of ground beef because meat had moved jumping through a table. It's the best thing. I've been throwing various frozen vegetables and meats on my neck and my back, but you're right. I absorbed it mostly with the butt. I did it. A little more tame than some of these crazy Bills fans have done it, lighting stuff on fire. But nonetheless, I fulfilled the punishment. Congrats, Kenny. Well done, and rest in peace to that Home Depot table.
Well, the best part about that, the part you didn't see, is that 20 minutes later, he's trying to return the table to Home Depot, and he goes, "I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know why. This table's broken or something. I can't figure it out.
Faulty. The make was faulty.
Table. Yeah. Whew.
Oh, man.
Well, all right.
Well,
Another primetime punishment to get to later. Listen, this is how we do. We bet internally. We know you like gambling. We pay off our bets. Who knows what the next one will be? I think it's Halloween costume related, and we'll talk about that as we move on with the show. But let's get to some actual games that are happening this week, shall we?
We shall. All right. We're starting with Danny. We'll let you start first since you ended your last segment. You have the first game is Patriots. You have Patriots. They're -7.
Easy decision here. I mean, you don't have to be a sports betting pro.
Famous last words, Danny. Famous last
I know.
words.
Hey, just because I go through tables doesn't mean my confidence wanes. You don't have to be a sports betting pro to see the angles here. Jets going into New England to take on Bill Belichick. And here's the angle here. I mean, we understand how poorly the Jets are playing. They're bottom 3 or bottom 5, I should say, in every major offensive category. They just can't get going. And Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks, who he'll be facing against Zach Wilson here, is just dominant. 21-6, and he's 13-0 when playing at home against him. Last time these teams played, the Jets scored 6 points. So I got 2 bets for you. Pats -7. I think they win by more than a touchdown. No problemo. I'm going to bet on the Jets to score under 17.5 points as a team as well. I just don't see how they get offense going against the wizard, the mastermind in Bill Belichick. Tough day at the office for the Jets. Good luck to them.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I would bet the under in this just generally. By the way, Zach Wilson, especially bad on second downs for some reason, and going into, bad territory, and the fact that Zach Wilson has been just playing terribly against, we have short-term memory. We remember what happened just in week 2. So, yeah, I'm with you. This is sort of an easier one, and hopefully you don't have to jump through any tables in this situation. What was your next game that you have? Saints?
What stinks more, do you think? Would you say Belichick sweatshirt or the Jets in general? What's got more of a stank to it?
that mildew stank. Yeah, I'm gonna go Belichick sweatshirt because that thing is worse for the wear.
I would agree. That's a good prop bet you can get today.
Kevin's famous props. Give me a line on that one.
Danny, what was your other game? You had Saints.
Yeah, I'm looking at Monday night matchup, Saints-Seahawks. And, the Saints team is really interesting here. No longer Drew Brees era. Jameis Winston steps in. The first week, he has an insane game. We're thinking, oh, my goodness, is this going to be the guy to lead this team forward? But I think a lot of us knew the bumps were going to come. And the Saints now have a defensive identity. They have really good defensive numbers. They're great against the run. They allow just 18 points per game. And they're playing a Seahawks team that is without their leader in Russell Wilson now. Geno Smith has surprised some of us. He's played fairly decent, but also missing their running back. They're pretty banged up. And here's a really interesting angle for you here. Check this one out. So the Saints won their last game against the Washington football team, and then they went on a bye. Now they'll be -4 road favorites. Teams that won their week before the bye have their bye week and then are larger than -3 road favorites cover the spread 70% of the time in the last 60 games, 42-18 against the spread in that interesting little spot there. So I think with the defensive identity, the Seahawks with the backup quarterback and that betting angle there, I love the Saints -4 there. And I also like the under in this game, which should be a gritty one, low scoring.
Kevin likes Mystery Geno versus Mystery Jameis, right? Like, this is just 2 mysteries to me.
Yeah, it's a real what the hell's going to happen? Does anyone care game? But It's funny because I think Mystery Gino has been trending up, and I would say Mystery Jameis has been trending down. Is the way I see it. So, look, if you look at those two guys, determining factor, there's interesting action all over this game. There's a couple running back New Orleans. I think I saw a prop over 29 and a half yards receiving. They do a lot of pass, like short little dinks and little slants and stuff like that. Their running backs do, it's like he doesn't have the confidence right now. I don't think there's a lot of confidence in him throwing the deep ball, at least successfully. So I think you're going to get a lot of these little check down, like 3-yard passes, 4-yard passes, right? Which, they add up. I like a lot of those action, especially the wide receiver, just like prop action within that game if you really care. But yeah, I agree. It's a mystery. And at the end of this, it could be another unsolved mystery. So we may not know.
Cold case files, Geno Smith. I agree. Yeah, and I like them to limit the Seahawks scoring, and they're a run and defense team now. So going into Seattle too, maybe it makes it a little harder being in that atmosphere. But I like a low scoring game. Saints defense to win this one, cover, and the game goes under 42.5. I love both of those. I'm really looking forward to this game.
All right. Well, Kenny, we'll move over to you because, you talk about Mystery Gino, but what about Mystery Raiders? You've got Eagles at Raiders. What are your thoughts?
The Eagles have covers for me in back-to-back weeks, so I'm going to stick with them again this week against the Raiders. Eagles are 2-4, but they've played the fourth toughest schedule thus far in the NFL. Their losses have come to the Chiefs, the Bucks. Who else have they lost to? The Cowboys. So the teams that they're losing to are, top-notch contenders for the Super Bowl this year. I just think the stars finally aligned for the Eagles here. They run the highest percentage of zone defense. When you look at Derek Carr's numbers when he's facing zone defense, his numbers take a significant drop back. The Raiders defense, we all know, is not very good at stopping either the run or the pass. And now they take on one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. The Eagles rank number 1 in explosive running plays, and they're ranked number 2 in explosive pass plays. So I think, like I said, everything's going to click today for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is poised to have a big day, both in the air and on the ground. So yeah, fly Eagles fly.
I love the over too in this one. I think the Raiders have taken the over. I think 6 of 7 home games. The Vegas is all about a show. They put on a show. You think about these two cities, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, 2 cities you're most likely to wake up, not know where your pants are. I think it's interesting that they are battling it out. And I love, I like the over in this one. I know that Danny's a big under guy. He loves talking under. The only thing this guy's gone over on is that table he smashed last week. But other than that, he's under. And I'm telling you right now, I think this is going to be a points-a-palooza, and I'm very excited about watching this one. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I agree, Kenny. I think that the public is looking for reasons to bet on Vegas, bet with Vegas, and I do think that the Philly. I mean, I think that's a smart. I love Eagles at +3. I've seen it. I love that. It's great call.
And it's interesting too.
The line
was
dropping,
last week.
So
you guys
wanted to touch on
had
that. The line was at 3.5, depending where you looked. Right now, it's at 2. I looked right before I came on. So if you're going to ride the Eagles, I would recommend you buy it up to at least 3. I got them at +3.5. I would definitely recommend you buy that point back up.
Interesting take there. And then, as well, you had the Raiders with the points in there last week where they ended up winning outright. I like that take that you had. I rode with that. And it was sort of on the angle, John Gruden just got fired, locker room jacked up about that and kind of change of pace. But that juju from that maybe has, died off now. And Eagles are an interesting spot here without that fire under their belly a week later. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, I personally think the Raiders are a better team over the Eagles, but I think Jalen Hurts is doing well, and he has time to throw, and he's getting Lane Johnson, who's coming back after being out for a significant part of the first half of the season. So I think that might play a role in this whole game. So, all right, Kenny, you've got one more game.
Before we jump to the next game, reminder, questions. If you got questions, we got to remind everyone. Questions, you can send them to us. Rapid fire Q&A questions. We'll get to it. I know we're going to cover a lot of games today, cover a lot of players. Perhaps you have prop questions. You have fantasy questions. You have just general gambling questions. You want to know what sweet setting Kenny bets on his beard to get it that full feel. They're all questions that are available. So get them to us and hit us up. We'll answer them rapid fire style in the next 20 minutes when we wrap this thing up today. So more games to get to now. I think, Kenny, you got your second game, right?
Yep. I got one more winner for you guys. And if you've been tuning into the show or following me on social media for the last year, 2 years, you know I love me some Lamar Jackson. But 6.5 points in this game between the Bengals and the Ravens is just way too many points. Division matchup. The Bengals actually have looked, pretty respectable to Kevin's credit. And they have the fifth-ranked defense in the NFL in defensive efficiency. I'm going to buy this line from 6.5 up to 7. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch Joe Burrow take us to the promised land. And as much as I love Lamar Jackson, he's just 3-9 against the spread as a home favorite when the spread is between 1 and 8 points. So doesn't particularly cover the spread at home.
Wow. I love it.
Really,
I actually
really
think,
interesting.
yeah.
I was actually going to mention, and Kenny's points, he's got some good trends there in this specific spot. I will say, as a small counterpoint, the home favorites with a spread of -6.5 at that line is actually the most profitable line to bet at since 2015 in the NFL. So the -3, not profitable. The -4, right, all the way up to -6.5, that's actually been the best spot for a home favorite in terms of betting if you would have made your money long term. But for Lamar Jackson, you're giving some good numbers that he's not profitable in this spot. So pretty interesting there.
Yeah, Kenny betting against Lamar. That's questionable. The thing is, like, to Kevin's point, because Kevin, you've been riding on the Bengals all season long, but they haven't really beaten anyone that's like that good. Like the Vikings are okay. The Jags, the Lions, sorry, Detroit, the Steelers we're confused about too. But to your point, Kevin, like Joe Burrow, he's playing well, completing over 70% of his passes. Cincinnati's not really allowing many points, 25 points in a game this season. And so, and their defense is pretty good, but they have such a crappy offensive line, not protecting Joe Burrow. I just kind of see this game being a little iffy as far as if you were just going straight on the money line, Ravens, Bengals. But Kevin, would you even go Joe Burrow in that? Are you riding high?
I identify as a Burrow-sexual because I'm telling you right now that he has been proven week after week. He finds ways to win games. There's certain quarterbacks you just lose faith in, and you go, it doesn't matter how good they should be or their stats or how great they played in college or even last season. They just can't seem to get wins, and everyone knows it happens like Kirk Cousins was kind of that way earlier in the season. You're like, the guy's great. He just can't figure out a way to like scrap together a W. Burrow, I feel the opposite about. I've been saying since week 1, every single person ragged me. I had the Bengals. They won. They covered. I've been riding that. I got the eye of the tiger all season, baby. So Burrow-sexuals represent. Let's go.
Get one, right? Today. Let's get it, Joey.
But Kenny, I think that's a smart bet to have on all the Burrow-sexuals and in this Ravens game today. All right, to our Burrow-sexual, Kevin Klein, what's your game today?
Well, look, you got the best of the best, and then you got the worst of the worst, right? I could talk game today, or if you want, I can give you guys an exclusive prop. I don't know which we're doing because I know our schedule got all screwed up when the internet went down. You guys want my game, or you want the exclusive prop that you're only going to get right here?
Exclusive prop.
You pick it. All right,
Exclusive
here we go.
Prop.
Let's talk about one of the good stories in the NFL this week, and that is that the Jaguars will not lose a game this week because they're on a bye. That is the one way we can guarantee to take a bye. In fact, I think they may experiment with the Jaguars getting 4 byes this season, just to see if they can continue to not lose games. The question in this exclusive prop I bring to you today is, how will Coach Urban Meyer spend his off week? I've got odds for you guys. Lock down your bets. At 10-1, he'll be buying his wife a car. At 12-1, he'll be buying his wife a necklace. At 50-1, he'll be buying his wife a house. Even money, he's going to buy his new girlfriend a drink. Place your bets. We'll go to Kenny first.
I was going to say, Kevin, you missed one there. I think you're married, I think. So you should know Urban Meyer's probably buying all of the above. Like for him to get out of that mess he got himself in, he's got to buy all of those things to get out of that. And, that may not even cut it.
Right.
Kenny, I love it. I'm right. I had the same take. I was gonna say sprinkle the board because he's gonna need to lock in everything. You will profit if you sprinkle the board.
You could also put a prop bet on a purse, a prop bet on other things as well. Something like that. A Balenciaga, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Serena.
Yeah. Urban Meyer tries to like buy everyone a Jaguar, and his wife sends him like a real one just to like go away.
Maul him.
Go to the zoo.
What-
Sends him to
what's
the
the prop?
zoo.
What's the prop on the divorce lawyer?
Right.
That's a plus 4. I mean, that's pretty much you got to lay money on that one. That's a lot.
Yeah, right.
I think, right there.
Minus 250.
Minus.
Oh man. Urban Meyer.
Serena,
Yeah,
your game.
he
Let's
needs
get to your
another
game.
bye
We all get this. You got a game this week. I know you got a game, and then I'll show you what I have for you, which is the battle of the best versus battle of the worst. Of course, keep your questions coming to us as well. We'll answer them in moments. Serena, your game this week is.
Look, it's not the most exciting game of the week, but I'm pretty excited to watch just because you've got the winless Lions playing the 5-1 Rams, a game where both quarterbacks are basically playing against their former team. It's like, who has a better, future, like current girlfriend, right? So to me, like the spread is minus 16.5 in favor of the Rams. I just see, you got Jared Goff who's growing a little scruff. He's been called out by his quarterback, Dan Campbell, like, hey, you've got to play better. But he was called out by Sean McVay when he played for the Rams that he had to play better last year when they lost to the Jets. I remember that game very well. So, and I think Jared Goff remembers it well. So I think it's more about like Jared just cannot come in. You can't go see an X and look all scruffy and look messed up. You got to like come in looking smooth. You can't just like throw interceptions all the time. You can't trip when you walk through the door. So I think there'll be a nice firm hug to Sean McVay, show that he's doing well and he's being, he's okay. More Matthew Stafford, right? Because he's coming into this game probably overconfident. He's like, check out the model that I'm dating. I got Cooper Kupp over here, Sean McVay, and that coif of a hair. And I think maybe, if you're thinking about this psychologically speaking, maybe there's a little more too comfortable putting too much on your model girlfriend with Matthew Stafford leading the way. Maybe, there might be a few little interceptions, a couple little things, little dinks that we don't see from Matthew Stafford. So I don't see this game being so big as a 16.5 spread. I don't think that the Rams take that. They'll get the
Such a
win.
disrespectful line.
Well, I mean, look,
Yeah,
look, think about it. The spread was so wide it actually opened on OnlyFans. That's how this game was first announced. You think about it.
Evan is unhinged.
It was
unhinged.
It is. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't make sense. But then you look at it and you go, it's almost a disrespectful thing. And I love the back storyline of teams that know each other well, forced to battle each other, like. Players that used to be, friends, I would imagine, in the locker room now attempting to take each other's heads off on the field. And like at this point in the season, it's pretty clear who got the better of the deal. Like I mean, everyone's going, Goff who, right? Sorry, Detroit. And everyone, of course, Stafford is playing the best football of his career and putting up quarterback ratings like numbers he's never done before. So it is very interesting. But I think the spread seems huge considering there's a lot of the intangibles of like, what will happen when they connect? I mean, yes, it's weird because the game I'm going to talk about in a moment is another big spread game. But in this one, Kenny, do you see any reason why a spread of this many points would be something you shouldn't?
Well, I've said it many times, on this show, the live shows we do on Monday and Thursday, that 7 points in an NFL game is usually too many.
Right.
So if you're going to bet this game, like as crazy as it sounds, I did it last week and I got burned betting on Detroit. So I'm definitely not betting on them again this week. But if you were going to bet this game, like to lay 16.5, 17 points, whatever the Rams line is at that you're getting, that's just absurd. That's 3 possessions that, you're saying they're going to win by. So it's just a lot of points.
Yeah, and for me, I would tend to agree, right? Just from a sports betting philosophy perspective, I can't lay lines like that. However, in the last 30 games that there have been an NFL favorite of 14 or more points, they cover at a 70% clip, 21-9 against the spread. in games where teams have been favored by 14 or more. So as gargantuan it is, it's actually been a profitable spot. Will I be laying those points though? No, I still don't have the balls to do it.
Nor does Kenny's dog. Kenny's dog doesn't have balls anymore either.
Sad.
You guys are gonna keep harping on that one, huh? Jeez, I'm gonna send one of them to your house, Serena, so you can frame it. Put it behind
The golden nugget.
I love you, good. The golden nugget.
Like Lance Armstrong, right? You bronze it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad, Danny, that you shared with us the stat about big spreads, because the game that I bring to you is who I believe to be the best team in football, battling the worst team in football. And I think J.J. Watt would agree with what I have to say. Arizona Cardinals, undefeated. They are a 6-0 team going into this week, battling the always disappointing Houston Texans. And that's a team with 1 win, 5 losses. At this point, that spread opened at 14.5. Currently, it's at 17.5, which means that it's just the books cannot get people to put money on Houston, obviously, so they just keep teasing you. Listen, like I said, it seems like a ton of points. Understandably, why would you possibly say that they've got to score pretty much? They got to beat them by 3 touchdowns. I don't see that not happening. I mean, Houston has games where they're putting up no points, and you've got Arizona, and as J.J. Watt said, we don't need to come up with excuses as to why we are undefeated. We don't need every week it's an excuse. Well, they got to play a team that was injured. Oh, they got to play a team that was dealing with behind-the-scenes stuff, because maybe we're just awesome. And at this point in the season, and I know Arizona has started strong a few seasons, and then it all falls apart at some point right around week 7 or 8, interestingly enough. But maybe they are just awesome. I think Arizona is a lock this week to cover. I think I would like this if it was a 21 point. I mean, it was 21, I would like it. I mean, I would say you can take some alternate spreads in this one, and I may take a few. I could see myself taking Arizona to win by 22, 25, maybe take Arizona to win by 30 at like a plus. I don't know. You get that at
30,
like a plus 150.
It's just whatever. Like they don't even. Why are they even showing up? Why are they showing up, Kevin? Like what?
Well, listen. Arizona's been covering spreads four in a row. They've covered their spreads 4 in a row. Arizona's covered. Think about that right there. So it's a big spread, but they're on a nice streak right now. Houston's lost 17 straight when playing a team as a 7-point underdog. So if you're one of these people that's going, oh, I like Houston because the money line is some crazy number like plus 950. That is dumb money, and you can go ahead and rip it up and flush it down the toilet and burn it because you're not going to get it. There's zero chance. This will not come back to bite me like Danny Brasco's words came back to bite him. Houston will not win this game. They will not cover. And if you're thinking to yourself, on any given Sunday, anything can happen, like I usually convince myself of, don't do it. Arizona will win, and they will win big today. Thank you.
Not this
It's
one.
pretty crazy
Danny,
that both of these big spread games have like a little layer of revenge factor to them, right? Like Stafford versus Goff, and then J.J. Watt and Hopkins versus their old team. So yeah, I kind of like that one, honestly. It's a ton of points. I know I just said that, but yeah, I think the Cardinals should smoke the Texans today.
And yeah,
That's
you
funny,
add that all the more reason now. You got a little revenge factor there. So they run the score up, and they're not done beating down on them because they want to show them once again, how much better off they are. That could be a reason to run the score up even more and help cover that spread for Kevin.
We like this. We like the Rams Lions being a closer game than the Texans Cardinals. That's for sure. That's a surprise.
Definitely.
Look at the Lions. They're on the up and onward. Okay. All right. Are we taking rapid fire yet, Kevin? Or are we doing our new side bet segment? Like, we got to get to that.
Well, we got rapid fire questions that have been coming in, so we appreciate those. We will answer them. Of course, you got some of the sharpest minds and some of the biggest dummies currently joining you. I will not tell you which category I fall into. Dumb money, smart money, whatever you want to say. I think you can see, just if you read the names under our pictures here, that why they put degenerate by me and pro capper by Kenny Bets Big. Pro capper, and all of a sudden Serena gets to be the charming one. When do I get to be the charming one around here? That's the real question, huh?
Never. That doesn't happen, Kevin.
Never happened.
Serena keeps talking about my dog's balls. We'll have to put perverted one next to her name.
Yeah, seriously. It's become a very adult show all of a sudden. I got some of these questions. We can break these down right now. Rapid fire Q&A, as we like to do from time to time. And I'll go Kenny first, and then I'd love to hear, obviously, what Danny says about this. Super Bowl winner right now, you can still get a team right now, even some of the good ones, at a plus number. I mean, I think Tampa Bay may have shifted to a minus. I'm not sure. But any if you had to pick right now who's winning the Super Bowl, which becomes a discussion that we have at this point, who do you like right now, Kenny? And do you have maybe who you actually like to win it, and who else you think it's worth sprinkling a little bit of money on at this point in the season for some good odds?
Yeah, for sure. I had them big last year, and I'm not deviating this year. I'm sticking with the Bucks. It's the GOAT, Tom Brady. I know they haven't looked great so far, but they returned all 22 starters from offense and defense. So at some point, they're going to start to get things clicking, probably right before the playoffs, and they're going to roll into the playoffs with a ton of momentum. An AFC team that I really like, that a lot of people, they're starting to talk about them, but not really, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, absolute stud. The defense is starting to get healthier. They control the clock almost every game with that running attack. So I think the Ravens offer a ton of value, and a lot of people are still sleeping on them.
Yeah, I like both of those. Of course, how do you go against the Bucks, right? To repeat, I mean, Brady, for all the years he's got left, which seemingly are not going to end anytime soon, continue to be the front runner for that. Right when the season began, I locked in the Rams to win the NFC as well as the Rams to take the Super Bowl. I think they're actually have a great shot to get past the Bucks here. Right when they acquired Stafford, I was just in love with that acquisition. I love him with Sean McVay. And, as long as they stay healthy, they can fix a few minor things. I think they will be right next to the Bucks in that race to the Super Bowl. So out of the NFC, I like the Los Angeles Rams. They're a super complete team. And the AFC, for the value and for the way they look right now, and for a lot of the same points that Kenny made, I really do like the Ravens as well. I think we're kind of down on the Chiefs right now, and I'm not willing to back that defense to figure it out and adjust and get to the Super Bowl. I think it's not their year, and for the price that you may get, Ravens look like a nice play. So I'm with Kenny in the AFC for that contender.
Like that.
I also think you should sprinkle a little bit of money on the Jaguars at plus 70 billion.
You can buy a Powerball ticket or do that. Same thing, right?
Same thing.
I think the odds have to be better on a Powerball ticket at this point.
Yeah,
they'd have
100%.
They would.
Best, worst, longtime quarterback playing today. Kenny?
So just want to make sure. So this is like a quarterback that's been playing for a while in the league. That's who's the best and who's the worst.
Like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, best. Worst.
So the best, obviously,
Carson
I just
Wentz.
talked about him. Yeah, the best, I just talked about him. The GOAT. It's Tom Brady. There's no question. There's no one better than him. There will never be anyone better than Tom Brady that touches a football. The worst, maybe a little prisoner of the moment here because he's burned me in back-to-back weeks, but Geno Smith. The guy's had the chance not once but twice to win the game with, game on the line, ball in his hands, and he doesn't get it done. 2 turnovers, let alone. So, yeah, Geno Smith,
Big Ben?
absolute bum.
Big Ben.
Nah, Big Ben's a Hall of Famer, Who knows? I don't know what's going on with Big Ben because some weeks he looks the worst, and then other weeks he looks great. So I don't know what's going on there.
I was gonna go with. Right. Brady is Brady. That's enough said, right? But I was gonna go with Serena for the worst longtime QB right now. I mean, of course he is a Hall of Famer, but at the moment he's throwing ground balls to his receivers, so he looks bad.
He does look terrible.
Next question. Bring it up. Rapid fire Q&A questions for you. Do you guys actually bet the plays you say? Yeah. Let me tell you, unfortunately, that is true. So when we're right, we're in a good mood. And when we're wrong, and you'll be able to see tomorrow night when we go live on the Instagram before the Monday night game, are we smiling and looking showered and rested? Or do we look like we just woke up in a pile of booze and depression? That will determine what today's games do.
Shout out to Urban Meyer.
Yeah, I bet all the things I talk about because if I'm losing money, I like to know you're losing money with me. Kenny has been brutally honest. Kenny, I've known Kenny to Venmo people on the side. If he gives them a bad pick and they lose money, he sends them a little treat on Venmo. Very nicely, very generous.
Shout out to Cal Quantrill of the Cleveland Indians for cashing a side bet from Kenny. But I would way rather have seen Kenny jump through a table than myself. So he gets the better of that exchange, I'll say. Yeah, guys, we bet everything that we talk about, right? If you don't have skin in the game, why would you listen to us? It's basically that simple.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in this industry. You know, there's a lot of scammers, a lot of hacks that are out here selling picks. And one question that a lot of people ask me when they first start purchasing plays from me is, because I don't really send out too many, you know, max like 4 or 5 a day, is, hey, why aren't you sending out more bets? And it's because I'm only sending people what I put my money on. You see some cappers out here sending like 15, 20 plays a day. That's just total asinine ludicrousy to send out that many bets in one day. So yeah, 100%. I put my money on everything I send people.
Quality over quantity. I hear you.
Well, there's not a look like you know, one of the things that Kenny has made me a believer in is that there are some games. I mean, yes, you could bet on every game, but there are some games you shouldn't bet on just based on the way that the game is, the way the public is, and those are just games you should not touch. So any capper that's going to say there's an interesting way to put money on every game, have an opinion. They're forcing themselves to have an opinion that may not actually be there, and they don't care because it's your money that's at stake. So that's where things are rather different around here. For those of you that have made the switch, you start your day with pre-gaming, you understand it's rather different. Yes, the fact of the matter is that everything that I know I've spoken about today, I have already put in or will be putting in moments after the show comes to an end. I got to spread it around a little bit because certain bookies are not taking my calls right now. But okay, you all have your way of putting in your plays, and yeah, that's true. So. And look, and we also, on the side, just so you know, when games are happening, we're DMing each other back and forth. I'm saying, Kenny, you idiot. Why did you say that? On the flip side, I'm giving Kenny props when he's right about stuff. So, yeah, we're very invested in this, too. So, yeah, that you can bet with us with confidence that we are giving you at least where our money's going.
Well, speaking of me, let's get to our next question. Cheers to that. Of all the picks, which is the biggest lock, Danny? What can we promise people they don't need to jump through a table?
For my money, my favorite bet of the week is the Saints -4, and I wouldn't be surprised if by game time you see it climb to 4.5 or 5. I'm expecting it to close 4.5. So I love the 4 right there. I gave you sort of a betting angle on it, the stylistic matchup as well, the injuries for the Seahawks. For my best bet, I will go Saints -4.
Kenny?
Before today, I would have said the Bengals, but seeing how much money is poured in on the Raiders today and the line just continues to drop and drop and drop. Like this morning, It was at 3. Now it's at 2. By the time this game goes off, it could be 1.5. So I would say the Eagles. I think Eagles +3, +3.5 is good money today.
This is the smartest thing I'm ever going to say, so I hope you pay close attention, and you can hold it against me later. I believe that even really good teams can have really bad games. Even really good teams can just shit the bed one week, and they're not firing on any cylinders. But really bad teams are usually always really bad teams until they figure their shit out, and that takes a while, usually another season, some changing in personnel. So as much as I like betting on teams that I think will win games like Arizona, what I like even more is betting against teams that I have no faith in, like the Jets, like Houston in this week. So when a really bad team does play a really good team, I look at it like a great opportunity to actually make money where you're covered on both sides of the ball. That is particularly the case that we have today. The line seems high. I said it earlier. I love Arizona to win this game by a lot of points. Doesn't even matter. This is one of those ones. Sometimes people like to play poker blind, table game. You're just playing blind. It's more fun at the end. This is a blind one to me. If they said, I'm not going to tell you what the spread is, I said, I don't care how high you make it. I like Arizona. So that's my lock for this week as well. And remember, don't always bet with the good teams. Bet against bad teams. I like that as a strategy when gambling.
Kevin's all in on the Cardinals. All in.
I'm all out on Houston. I got that too. So
there you go.
Do we want to get to one more question before we wrap? I kind of like, Gesicki. Thoughts on him getting over 44.5 receiving yards? The Dolphins taking on the Falcons today.
It's weird. It's weird because the Dolphins played in London last week, and they didn't elect to have their bye week this week. Danny mentioned about teams winning before the bye, then having the bye, and then coming back. Atlanta coming off a bye. Matt Ryan historically does very well against the spread following that. I think Atlanta comes to play today, so I would go under.
Interesting. Hard for me to have confidence in a Falcons defense. I could have more confidence in your Matt Ryan angle. I like that. Man, unfortunately, I get right. Like Kenny said, right. If we're not betting on it, we're not gonna tell you what to ride with. I got to pass on this player prop here. No angle on Gesicki, unfortunately, but good luck to you, sir.
I'd rather than give you my thoughts on this game, I'd rather just take another watch of the video of Danny jumping through the table, proving that we do pay off our bets here on the show. The bet that happened, anytime you try to fade the Bills, you could end up going head first into a table, or in Danny's case, it was shoulder first. Do we have the ability to roll that again for people that are joining us mid-show? I think everyone would root for that. We could vote.
Quick stretch. Yeah.
There we go. Look at this.
I'm glad he stretched.
I had to get a little.
Fuck you, Josh Allen.
Oh.
Man.
I love
Where
the little
was
dig
that?
at Josh
Was that-
Allen at the end.
Were you in the Bronx?
Yeah, right.
Where-
No, Gantry Park, Queens, baby. Gantry Park, Astoria,
Oh,
Queens.
thank goodness.
The real
That's where you can
loser in
find
this
people
bet
smashing
was the poor kids who set up their lemonade stand on that table 20 minutes before he took it and jumped on it. It's really sad.
Well, we went to go do that, and there was a couple people like picnicking around us, and we were like, "I'm gonna look fucking crazy right now."
Did anyone ask?
No, they just kept it moving.
Classic
it's
New York.
way more crazier yahoos out there than just little old me jumping through a table.
No
Final
questions
rapid
asked.
fire.
Keep it moving.
Final rapid fire Q&A, and this is a good one. Henry, 125 rushing yards. It seems like anything under 200 is doable. I mean, at this point, he's got the most touchdowns this season in the NFL. He's got 10. Will he put up over 125 today? Is it a trap? Is it a good bet? Kenny, you take this one first.
I mean, how do I fade Derrick Henry? The guy just saved me from jumping through a table. Not something I particularly would bet. I would probably have to go over because Kansas City's defense can't stop a nosebleed at this point. How are they going to stop this guy? The guy's 245, hit 21.8 miles per hour on his touchdown, on his house call the other day. 21.8. How is this guy moving that fast? He's like a gazelle out there. You got to go over.
Yeah. This is that classic line that the bookmakers will wildly inflate after a huge game, right? Because the over is really the only play. But the Chiefs defense, like Kenny said, I mean, they are sorry. The thing for me is, you'll see Christian McCaffrey have huge games. They'll just explode the box score, right? And the next week, his line to me becomes almost unbettable. So you take the over or you take nothing here because, this is a classic like market inflation after a sick game.
Yeah, I think it was
And
97 versus the Bills.
Yeah, he can't even run legally through a school zone. I believe he's too fast. I think, right? Isn't that how it is now? Fact.
That's all we needed. Are we getting one more? Are we doing one more?
Yeah.
Are the Chiefs
One more, and let's wrap it. We had some dead air today, some technical difficulties. So, at the very least, we'll give you a bonus rapid fire Q&A before we start watching the games and getting our bets in.
Are the Chiefs in a void right now when betting? Oh man, speaking of the Chiefs, on the flip side, they're taking on the Titans today. Danny, the problem with them, right? Their defense is just, it can't be all on Patrick Mahomes holding this team together.
It really can't, and they are Swiss cheese. They can't stop anything with the run game here. Titans are getting points. They can control the game. They can dictate the pace. I mean, this is tough. I agree. It is, for me, it isn't a void. I'm off the Chiefs. Maybe Kenny's a Titans fan now, and he's rocking with them plus the 4. I wouldn't blame him for being a Titans fan, but I would agree with this. I'm going to stay away from the Chiefs until I can see something that inspires confidence out of the defense more than anything.
It's not that they're in a void for me. usually I don't find myself betting on the Chiefs too much because they're usually heavy favorites. Now these lines are starting to drop down a little bit. You know, they're 4-point favorites today versus the Titans. I'm not going to touch them today versus the Titans because how do you bet against the Titans after what they did for me on Monday? But I do think going forward, like next week they play the Giants, the week after that they play the Packers. I do think the Chiefs will start to trend more towards the Chiefs that we're used to seeing. Like Patrick Mahomes right now is like tied for the league lead in interceptions. Like that's not going to continue to trend in that direction. At some point, those things will revert back towards the mean, and the Chiefs will start to play like the Chiefs we're used to seeing from the last 2-3 seasons. So I think I would stay away from them today, see how they do, and then maybe next week, the week after versus the Packers. Like when they play the Packers, that's a great spot to fire on them.
And Kenny makes a really interesting point. Last season, they actually had a very poor record against the spread. Like Kenny's saying, they're typically really big favorites, so they weren't covering those point spreads. But the market will adjust now that people are down on them, and it's a good point. Maybe there will be good spots to find them.
And that does it for us. Gentlemen, thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for only one table was harmed in the filming of today's show. Here's the good news. We do it again before the Monday game. Before the Thursday game, we'll have another prime time. I think we're calling them prime time punishments. Another bet. If it doesn't pay off the way it should, someone will have to do something that they will desperately regret. And I think we're going to talk Halloween costumes. That'll be happening tomorrow on the Instagram Live, I believe.
The next time we are on, next Sunday, is Halloween. So let's do something to, and also follow up on the Aaron Rodgers bet, because we all guessed on what he would be for Halloween. That's why he's growing his hair out this season. So very excited to see who he ends up being for Halloween with that long hair.
Serena, enjoy your football Sunday.
Thank you, my friend. Cheers to you. Appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the Game Day on YouTube. We'll be back. No technical difficulties next week. It'll just be us betting on some games. Enjoy. You'll take the over.